All right, everybody. Welcome to Chapter 4, Section 5. I have a guest speaker with me tonight.
Hello.
That is Mr. Langeli to you. And Mr. Langeli, guess what we are going to be doing today?
Solving quadratic equations.
Do you remember what quadratic means, good sir?
Something with numbers and letters.
And a squared power.
Squared power.
And an equation means there's going to be?
I'm guessing an equal sign.
That is correct. And we're going to solve them. Now, you don't factor equations, you solve equations.
That makes sense.
But you're going to use factoring in order to solve.
Okay.
There are 3 ways to solve quadratics. You can solve quadratics by...
I'm guessing factoring.
And that's today's lesson. And you can also solve quadratics by...
Completing the square.
And blah, but it will work. By the way, factoring only works when it factors.
That
makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
And then in 4-7, we're going to use the...
Quadratic formula.
Which is by far my favorite because it works all the time and it's just a simple formula to plug in as long as they can reduce square roots. All right, so quadratic equations means, again, we're going to have x to the...
Squared.
And equations means we're going to...
Equal sign.
And then we're going to solve for them, okay? It says we're going to do it by graphing. I'll do that on the calculator if we have time. All right. Yeah, I have steps. Kids like steps. I learned.
Sure. Makes sense.
Step 1, simplify if you can. So like multiply, whatever that is. After you simplify, do you remember the set equations equal to...
What is it?
It is 0.
0.
You're about to say that.
Yeah.
And then you're going to factor, and they should hopefully know how to do that. Then you're going to set each factor equal to 0 and solve for the variable.
Okay.
All right.
We
Now,
got our steps.
I'm going to go ahead and encourage the students to take a screenshot of that right there, just like I did, so that we can try to solve. What variable do you think we'll be solving for in this problem?
I'm going to guess a p.
We are going to be solving for the variable p. That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
And did you notice I took a little screenshot and I have my steps right here? Again, what variable are we solving for?
P.
That's right. Okay. Now, let's change color. Pick a color.
That's a lot fancier than when I was in math class.
Hurry, because of the time.
Green.
Okay, sorry. They won't watch past 20 minutes. It's a thing. All right, so does this simplify at all?
No.
No, there's no multiplying or anything that can happen.
Right.
So we're going to kind of get this equation equal to 0. What should I do with that 40?
You should throw it away. No, subtract 40 from each side.
And that's going to set it equal to?
0.
So I'll start with in order. 2p squared
Minus 11p minus 40
equals?
0.
Okay. Is there a GCF?
No.
Technically.
1.
1. So I won't rewrite it. Okay. Now, we'll do this one using grouping. We'll do the next one using the box. That way we hit each kid and I don't have to do... Well, not actually physically hit each kid. But
yeah, that would not be good.
But either way, whether they're boxing or grouping, they have to know this. What is A times C?
Let's see here. 2 times 40? 80?
Negative 40? Mm-hmm.
Negative 40, yes. 80.
And then what is B?
Negative 11.
All right. Now, can you think of 2 numbers that multiply to negative 80 and add to negative 11?
I can probably think about it.
Do you think it's 2 and negative 40?
No.
Because what's that add to?
That adds to negative 38.
Which is not what? What about 4 and negative 20? No, because that adds to...
Is it negative 16?
What about 5 and negative...
What is that?
Can you divide?
Yeah, I can. I see 1. 16.
That's correct. I was going to get a calculator, but you didn't need it.
I didn't need it, no.
How long have I known you, my dear?
Since we were in 10th grade, we would have been 15, I guess.
So pretty much the age of some of my students?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and rewrite this using grouping.
Well, that equals negative 11, right? You didn't finish that.
I'm so sorry.
That's the correct answer, right?
Equals negative 11, which is why, yeah.
That's why we stopped.
They know. I'm
just messing.
I'm having issues. It's negative 11. Okay. We don't need this. All right. Rewrite this trinomial. So 2p squared, and then the minus 40 in the back. And what happens to the negative 11p?
It's 5 and negative 16. So is it plus 5p minus 16p?
Mm-hmm. And then we split it in half. And if you guys are using the box, do 2p squared, do negative 40, and then you fill in these. But we're going to do grouping on this one. Okay?
Okie dokie.
All right. And sorry. You know. What's the GCF of these?
P.
Okay.
Take out a P.
And if you take out a P, what are you left with?
2P plus 5.
Okay. And what's the GCF over here?
Let's see. 4?
Yes, it's
four?
a negative
Negative
4.
negative.
And it's actually bigger than 4. It's actually
8.
8.
Yeah, see, I felt nervous.
I know. Divide by negative 8.
Yeah, 2p
P.
plus 5.
Okay, now final factored form. What do you notice about those parentheses?
They're the same.
So 2p plus 5.
It's like magic.
And then what's the rest?
P minus 8.
And that's not the end. Because remember we had this whole equation equal to 0.
Well, since math is so fun, you never want it to end.
So we take our first factor and set it equal to 0. That's in the steps. Remember the steps?
Following the steps, yeah.
And what would p equal if we subtracted
Okay.
5?
And then 2, yeah. So negative 5 halves.
That's right, divide by 2. That's our first value of p that would make our original equation true.
Makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Yep.
Okay. Now let's do our second factor. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. What was our second factor?
What was it? Where is it? Huh? What was the second factor?
Oh, nope, right here, just joking.
Oh, that. Yeah,
Yeah.
p minus 8.
And what are we going to do with that? Set
So
it
equal to 0.
0.
That's an easier
Solve
one.
for it. Solve
P
for p.
equals 8. Add 8
And that's
to both
the
sides.
second value of p that would plug into the original equation and give us a true statement. So we could plug negative 5 halves in here and here and get 40. Or we could plug in 8 here and here.
I'd rather
and
do
get
8.
40.
I
Well, we're
like
not
whole
going
numbers.
to.
I'm just saying I like whole
All right,
numbers.
we're going to do this one using grouping once we get to that step. So here's our steps over here. I think I can copy it. Paste it. Okay. And looking at that while I'm kind of getting this arranged, could you please tell me what the GCF is? Or no, this one simplifies. Meaning like you need to
combine them?
distribute. Yeah.
So x times x squared
Okay. Yeah,
minus
we can't just like
3x
right.
plus 6x minus 18 equals negative 8. And
Yeah.
again, combine like terms.
Okay.
Is that mathese?
Good.
X squared plus 3x minus... Wait.
Let's wait.
Okay, minus 18
Yeah, we're in
equals
each
negative 8.
No, what did you want me to do? Because
Add
now you're in
8.
step 2, set it equal to 0.
Oh, add 8 to both sides.
So the first thing we did, what was this process of
Simplifying.
And now what are we doing? Setting
Setting
it
equal to 0.
so
Yes.
x squared
Plus 3x.
minus
Minus 10? Yeah.
equals
0.
Okay, now we are going to do the box on this one, but we're going to have to do ACB first. What is A times C?
Let's see, that would be negative 10.
And what is B?
3.
Okay, and do you know the magic numbers that multiply to negative 10 and add?
Negative 5 and 2.
Negative 5 and positive 2 do not make positive 3 when you add them.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How
You're
about
correct.
positive 5 and...
Negative 2.
Those
See?
are the ones.
Look at that.
Makes positive 3 when you add
Yep.
them. They had a whole lesson on this, so it's okay if I don't show them.
Okay.
That should be okay. Now, if you're a grouping person, remember you're going to keep that and that the same, and you're going to split 3x. However, I want to make sure I do this for the box people. Grouping people, pause the video, factor it, please. And then box people, stick with me. Do you know how to fill in the box? Probably not.
Oh, let me guess. So
What goes here?
You said AC, and I was paying attention earlier. AC.
X squared and negative 10 go here if they're box people. And then our magic numbers go here and here, the ones that we just got from here.
Oh.
And then those get X's. Now, again, grouping people, if you're copying this down and I see this copied on your notes tomorrow, I'm going to be a little disappointed. Okay, so please group on your own. What's the GCF here between those two?
X.
What's the GCF here?
I can't see. Let's see here. Negative 2.
GCF here?
That would be X.
And GCF here?
That'd be 5.
Okay, so factored, this is X minus 2. I should have... We didn't check for a GCF at the very beginning, did we? Like right here, I never even asked you to find a GCF, did I?
No, there wasn't one.
Thank goodness.
Phew.
Okay, whew.
Oh, I'm nervous.
Okay, now that we have it factored, what do we do with each factored term?
We set them equal to 0.
Each factor. I shouldn't say each factored term. It's just they're each factored. So what does X equal here?
X equals 2.
And for this second one, what does X equal?
Negative 5.
All right. Oops. Now, that means that if I took 2 or I took negative 5 and I plugged them back in here or here, guess what I would get?
Negative 8.
That's right. As long as you plugged in, like, what were they? As long as you plugged in 2 and 2 and 2 and negative 5. Let's just show them real quick. Grouping people, you should be with me. Let's check out our answer of 2. What is 2 plus 6?
8.
Okay. times, what's 2 minus 3?
-1.
So we can see that surely enough that does work,
Mhm,
right? And
mhm.
same thing would happen with -5. All right, we're going to do that one more time. This one's going to end up being the difference of perfect squares. First step, is there anything that needs to simplify?
No.
No distributing. Okay. So the second step is to set it equal to
0.
And what would I do with that 25?
Subtract 25 from each side.
Equal to 0. Step 3 is factoring. So what's the GCF there? I know it's just
Is it 1?
1. Yeah, you want to say 2 or 5, but it's
Oh,
not.
because you got a 5 in the
Even
end of 1.
odds.
Yeah.
Now, do you remember that this is the difference of perfect squares? Do you remember that term at all?
Well, considering both of them are perfect squares, then it sounds familiar.
Do you remember the shortcut to factoring this? This one's short.
Is it
The square root
12
of 1. Yes.
minus 5, 12m minus 5,
Yeah.
and 12m plus 5?
That's right, folks. You know how old he is?
I'm old.
Older than me. Oh, wait, no, that's not true.
Context clues. She's a month older than me.
That is true. You're older. I'm older than you are. Okay, guys, so this is a quick factor. This is called the difference of perfect squares, where it factors to the factors of plus or minus of their square roots. Okay, so since we're already factored, check. Set each factor. What do we do? Set each
Equal
factor.
to 0.
So if I add 5 on this one,
Yeah, 12m equals 5. Yeah.
divide by,
12m equals 5 twelfths. Ugh.
yeah, but it's right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, 12m plus 5 equals 0. So do I need to color code that, or you think they're following? Like there's that, is that?
Sure.
That's okay. But visually that does make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Take away 5.
Then you get 12m equals -5.
Divide by 12.
Yeah, m equals -5 twelfths.
And if I wanted to check if these were right, what could I do with these?
Plug them back into your...
That
Up
m.
there.
And sure enough, if you did 144 into the square of those answers, guess what you would get?
25.
Cool. Number 4.
Isn't math so pretty?
That's also how they can cheat on the test.
Okay.
You can just take their answers and plug them in if they get stuck.
Okay.
Okay. Is there anything that needs to simplify on this problem? Because that's step 1.
No.
So I do need to set it equal to
0.
Okay, tell me a little bit about the 24 when you bring it over.
-24 minus 24p squared
Tell me about the 9p when you bring it over.
plus 9p.
Equals.
0.
So it was minus 24 and add 9, everybody.
Quick question.
Yeah, huh?
Why can't I subtract the 16?
Great question. Thank you. Because I never want their leading coefficient to be negative. So if you wrote that in order,
be negative 16.
And that's a no-go. Like it's bad habits. They forget to take out a negative. It's a whole thing. Okay, do you know the GCF here? Hint, it's not 3.
No. Oh, it's not 3. I'm going to say, hold on, P.
4. Yeah. So that kind of bugs kids out when the GCF is a variable, but it's allowed. Okay, take a P out of each of those.
16p squared minus 24p plus 9.
So it's okay that it's not a number. It's okay that it's a variable. All right, now hold on to this. Don't lose that. This is written, I told the kids today, this is written in factored form. It's just not fully factored. All right, I want you to tell me a little bit about this right
About
here,
what?
this 2.
Yeah.
It makes it a quadratic. And what do we know about quadratics? They could potentially
factor. You're doing great.
Thank you.
You're leading me very well.
And what did I do last? Box method? So I think I owe the grouping people. I did. I know I did. Number 2 I did as a box.
Not number 3. Number 3 was that.
Number 3 was difference of perfect squares.
Yeah.
They should know that shortcut. Okay, what is A times C? 16 times 9. Can you do this without a calculator?
Yes, I can. That's
90
4,
plus
5,
54.
144.
That's excellent. And what is B?
-24.
All right. Do you know 2 numbers that multiply to 144 and added, for example, we know it's not 1 and 144. It's not 2 and 72.
What about -12 and -12?
How about -12? Now, some of them can do that quickly and some of them cannot.
Sure.
If they can't, they have to go through the whole list.
Yeah.
3 times what, 4 times what, 5 times 1, 6, etc., etc.
See, we did the
You're good at
perfect
math.
square. Yeah.
So these are your magic numbers, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So we're doing this for grouping. Hey, people who use the box method, guess what you should do? Pause the video. Please try to factor this on your own. Come back and see if you get the same answers. If you don't, call me over tomorrow so I can help you see what went wrong.
Sounds great.
Right, yeah, put a star by it. Call me over. Isn't that why we do this?
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Okay, so this needs to be rewritten for my grouping people, box people. Go to the box. Please put 16p squared here, Please put 9 here. Please put negative 12p here and negative 12p here. However, what do we do with my grouping people? We write 16p squared. Do you
Yeah.
remember?
Minus 12.
With a p. And?
Minus minus 12p again.
And then the
Plus 9.
See how similar it is to the box?
Mm.
Isn't that cool? That's all it is. I mean, they're essentially just a
rewrite
different
again.
arrangement of it. That's for the box people.
That's fancy.
All right. Please don't forget we did have a GCF, but we'll get that in there in a little bit. Take those. What's the GCF for the first half, please?
4p.
That's good. And when you take a 4p out, what are you left with?
You're at 4p minus 3.
Mm-hmm. And what's the GCF on the other side?
Is it 3?
Negative 3. You have to take that sign. So divide by negative 3. Tell me what you get.
Tricky. 4p.
Mm-hmm.
Then what? Minus 3. So yeah.
Take a look at these two underlines. Do they match?
They match.
Okay, so that's your first one. I mean, it could be your second one.
My socks didn't match
Now,
today, but those match.
Did they not really match?
Mm-mm.
That's a weird. That's
I know.
not okay.
Let's keep it going.
Okay, I wish you wouldn't have told me that on this video.
Anxiety now. Ooh.
You should always match your socks.
No.
Okay, so we took that out. What's left over?
4p minus 3.
Do you remember our GCF from the very beginning?
You would think I would. Where is it at? P. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
We do have to write it in there. That was part of the GCF, so we do
Yeah,
need
we can't
that.
forget that.
All right,
You did say hold on to it. And
Box
I
people,
let it go.
you should be here. The box people should be caught up to us now.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do with each factor? Set each factor.
0. Yeah, equal to 0. Yes.
And so this one would make when you add 3 and you divide by 4.
Yeah. 4p equals 3/4.
Okay. What about here?
Same thing because it's the same thing, isn't it?
Let's use our big girl and big boy words. Same answer.
Same answer
because it's
the same factor.
Factor. Thank you.
Yes.
However, this was a factor as well, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So what did I say? I said set the factors equal to.
Oh, set add equal to 0.
So P equals
0.
There, we did it. 1, 2, 3 answers.
Look
You know
at
what's
that.
cool? Take a look up here. What was the highest exponent?
3.
That's why we have 3 answers.
Wow.
Yes, math is beautiful. All right.
Not as beautiful as you, dear.
I know. Number 5, for this function, find when f of x is equal to negative 8. So you see this f of x I'm putting in a blue box?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to make it.
Negative 8.
So we're going to write negative 8 equals.
X squared.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 11x.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 20.
And what are we going to do with that
Add
negative
8.
8? Because we have to set it equal to.
0.
So that's x squared
Mm-hmm. Plus 11x.
plus.
Plus 28.
And what would we do with that? Factor it.
Oh, fact. Yes.
Now,
yes,
here's
yes.
where I'm at. Are you ready? Tell me if this is mean or not. They
What?
should know how to factor.
Okay.
If they can't, they need to talk to me and stay after school.
Oh, you
right?
mean like leave it alone?
Yeah, I'm gonna say, kiddos, you should be able to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna go straight to it. It'd be plus 7 and plus 4. I'm just gonna do it to save us some time because they should be able to get that.
But if not, ask.
Ask.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
ask.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So set each factor equal to
0.
solve
X equals negative 7.
and x equals.
Equals negative 4.
Now, everybody on this video, I've made it very clear that if you couldn't get yourself, just double check me. If they couldn't get themselves here,
Ask.
ask. So
Well,
these are
there
our
you
2
go.
answers.
Mm-hmm.
That's when that function is equal to negative 8. In other words, if I plug those numbers in, I would get negative 8. The girls are laughing. Now, in order to find 2 points on the graph, here's what it is. It would be, one would happen at negative 7, comma 0. Oh, no, silly me. Negative 7, comma.
Negative 8.
Negative 8. That's right. That's what we were solving for. Woo-hoo. And what was the other one?
Negative 4. Negative 8.
Yeah.
Nope. Negative 8.
Thank you. That's a good thing you're here.
I know.
Okay, so negative 4, negative 8. And negative 7, negative 8.
Wonderful.
Okay. Now we could do that again. I'm just trying to look at the time because they give up after a little while. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to do this one because it's difference of perfect squares. It's not always difference of perfect squares, but part A says to find the zeros of the function. What that means is to take the function and set it equal to 0. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. So take f of x is actually 0.
Yeah, f of x becomes 0.
Mm-hmm.
So can you factor that using difference of perfect? First of all, do you see difference of perfect
squares? Yes.
Square roots are?
8x minus, can I do minus 7?
And
then 8x plus 7.
And we would set each of those factors
equal to 0, yes.
And what would we do with them?
So
We
that's
would
them equal to
solve
0,
them,
yeah.
right? So 8x
equals 7.
X equals
7 over 8. 7
We
eighths.
solved that fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we're going too fast, what should kids do?
Either pause, slow down, or star and ask you a question.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, 8x plus 7 equals?
8x equals negative 7.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yep.
Oh,
you just
0.
went one
I went
step
to
ahead.
I'm
Yep,
sorry.
Yep. And then divide by
8.
x is.
Negative 7 over 8.
Do the steps make sense that I had?
Mm-hmm.
Simplify, set it equal to 0, factor, set the factors equal to 0.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the zeros of the function. So it says, what are the x-intercepts?
Where?
Well, think about where it crosses the
x-axis.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. It's where it crosses the x-axis. In other words, what's the value of y?
When it crosses the x-axis, it's 0, right?
That's what we just found.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
So one of
y
them
is 0. Yeah.
is 7 over 8 comma 0.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is negative 7 over 8 comma 0. And that came from over yonder. Those are the x-intercepts.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Now the y-intercept. Tell me the definition of y-intercept.
Where it crosses the y-axis.
What's the
and
value
x would be 0.
Yes. I do need them to have that what I call flashcard memory.
Mm-hmm.
Y-intercept, x equals 0. Just like you, honey. He does not have an answer key,
And
folks.
I'm old.
You are so old.
Not as old as you.
Does that make sense what I just wrote?
Oh, yeah.
Because what
It's
did I
x.
make x
X is
up
0.
here?
Yeah.
And that becomes...
Negative 49.
So what's the y-intercept?
Negative 49. 0
Zero.
or negative 49. Yeah.
If we put that on Desmos, but we got to keep going because the kids will shut off soon. All right, solving application problems. I personally think I could solve these and not show them the whole factoring steps. I'm begging them not to quit on me though here, so I'm not sure.
Begging, don't
quit. The product of two consecutive odd numbers is 399.
Okay.
Find the number. So, can you tell me what do we call the first unknown?
I don't know.
How
The two
about
consecutive
X?
odd. Oh, wait, we get
Yeah,
a variable
That's
for
the
it.
first
Unknown.
one.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question for you. How far apart are odd numbers?
Isn't it 2? Is this a
Every
trick
two.
question? Yeah.
No, right there.
Yeah.
What does the word product mean?
Multiplication.
So the first one times the second one.
You're really simplifying
Equals?
this here. 399.
Now you just go through my same process steps. So
You took the
simplify.
anxiety of the word problem and took it away. Threw it away.
What's that called?
Simplifying.
Simplifying.
Mm-hmm.
And then what do I do? Set it.
Set equal to 0.
Oopsie. Sorry.
Minus 399 equals 0. Yeah.
And then you would factor it, which
Mm-hmm.
they should be able to. I don't know what it is.
Ooh.
Oh, geez. Now the kids are going to watch us struggle.
No, struggle. Come on now. It's got to be like 18 and 16 or I don't know.
It's 19 and 21.
Oh, okay. I was close to my guessing.
So what are the two numbers? If x plus 21 equals 0,
X
would,
equals negative 21.
and if x minus 19 equals 0,
X equals 19.
now should they be able to factor that on their own? Should they be able to take this and transform it into this?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not as quickly as we did.
No.
But yes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So-
I'm saying that maybe that's
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
But if not, you can always ask.
Always ask.
Always ask.
Okay, it's really, you know what we're doing now? We're seeing if they can set up a word problem.
Yeah. Oh, this is anxiety right here.
It is.
Boom.
The area of a rectangle. Can we just stop there? Area is what?
Length times width.
Is shaped, and then they give it to us. So I'm going to erase area, and guess what I'm going to put in? How big is the area?
432 square feet.
The length is 6 more than the width.
So like 6x or something, or 6 whatever.
6 more. If I'm 6 more, if I'm 6
Oh,
more
6 more
pounds,
plus.
so
Six.
the length is really the width and 6 more,
Right.
and then we still need the width.
Still need the width.
So the length became 6 more than the width.
Yep.
And then they would distribute.
Mm-hmm. So 432 equals W width squared plus 6W.
You think they're still with us? I think
Time
they are
will tell.
because you're here.
Time will tell.
I mean, honestly, if they can set it up, as long as they have the skills from up above, they should be fine. This one has a little bit of a quirk to it, though.
Uh-oh.
So I'm setting an equal to
0.
because I think that was like what, step 2 from today?
I think so.
And now step 3 was to be able to factor it. Oh dear, honey, can we do this?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll use a calculator. You use your brain.
Okay, got it. I'm on it.
Oh, guys, you should be able to factor this. Again, maybe not as quickly as I can. Oh my gosh. Are they watching me struggle? Are they watching? Ooh. No.
Ooh.
Got it. It's positive 24 and negative 18. But if they can't do that, call me over tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do think that do you think I could skip and just say W equals negative 24?
I think they can
Do
handle
you
that.
understand why?
Because you said equal to 0, and then you
Yeah.
put the 24 on the other side.
What
yeah.
would this one be? Equal to 0?
18.
Now, why is this what we call extraneous?
Extraneous? Mm-hmm. Because you can't have a negative width.
And that's it. You can't have a negative width. So the width must be 18 feet. Do you remember what the length was? The
6
length
more.
was
6 more
Yeah.
than it. So 24.
Yeah.
18 plus 6, yeah.
And sure enough, if you multiply those, you should get 432.
Well, that was,
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm just gonna set these up because I think we're losing. I'm hoping we're not. I'm just set them up. I'm not gonna solve them.
Okay.
Okay, will you do that for me? Help me.
Mm-hmm.
A ladder leans against a wall of a building.
Mm-hmm. Very practical problem. A lot of ladders out there.
The
a lot
length
of
of the ladder is 9 feet longer than the distance to the building. So here's the building.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ladder leaning.
Right.
This is 9 feet longer.
Right. Than
The distance of the bottom from the building.
Mm-hmm.
Distance from the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
That's an arrowhead.
Mm-hmm.
The distance of the top of the ladder reaches up the side of the building is 7 feet longer than the distance of the bottom of the ladder.
So D plus 7.
Yeah. Find the lengths of all 3 sides. Oh, this would be lovely if I had like eons of time because it's the right triangle and they've all taken geometry. So they know that A squared.
Plus B squared equals C squared? Or am I
This
just...
is such, you know what? Hey, you know what? My more advanced learners, this is a great problem for you. So challenge extended. Come and solve
Challenge
that puppy.
accepted.
I would, you know what? You solve that because you're still with me. You solve that. You show me every eon of work. I'll give you a couple bonus points.
Do I have bonus points?
No.
Oh.
I don't know how to say that name.
Oh, is it Shruti?
Yep, is going to throw a ball from the top of a cliff. When she throws the ball 80 feet above the ground, that's the function. And it models the height of the ball according to time. Find the zeros. When will it hit the ground? Hey, how high is the ground again? How many feet up in the air?
0.
0. So you see this is your equation. See this?
Mm-hmm.
Guess what that becomes?
0.
0.
Height of the... Yeah.
So remember our steps from today?
Right. Yes. Simplify and then set equal to 0.
And then factor it. So they would factor this.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be how you do part A. You would just follow our steps from today. Is that okay?
There's a 16 in there, I see.
Right. I'm just going to go ahead and move. By the way, the GCF is negative 16. And then they would solve this just like we have been. I don't think it would be worth our time to do that more and more and more.
But if they're lost, they should ask questions.
Yep.
Yeah.
That says solve.
And
the times when it'll be 80 feet above the ground. So you see this? Guess what we set it equal to?
I'm going to guess 80.
And then you just solve it. And then part C, and you solve it just like we were today. So set it equal to 0. Part C asks about 2 seconds. So guess what you plug in for T?
T is time, yes,
Yeah.
so 2 seconds. So 2.
Yeah. And then just see what you get.
And
into
this one?
Yeah, into this equation. Thanks for asking.
orig-
Yeah, you put 2 into that. And that will tell you how high it is at 2 seconds. Okay. Can you do this on your calculator? Yes, you can. But I have the cheap calculator. And I'll look really quick, but I don't think this one allows me. This one does. I'll need to do a separate video on my computer for this if they want to learn how to. Thanks for hanging out.
My pleasure.
Okay, don't forget the steps. Do you think the steps are good? I thought the steps
they
were
were
good, but I made them, so I mean, I should think they're
Are you
good.
biased towards the steps?
So, yep. And then I'll make a
Look at that.
separate video. So our goal was to solve quadratics using, what was the method? Not completing the square. What was the method called?
The grouping thing you did?
Yeah, it's called factoring.
Yeah, factoring.
So we solved by factoring today.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we'll complete the square. Not all problems factor. I bet they...
That's fair. Yeah.
Do you think they're still here?
I don't know. Maybe
Lily, Rosie?
you should sing them a song.
Lily and Rosie? Yeah? Do you guys want to say goodbye to my students? I'm hoping they're still here.
Speaking of songs, just wait till you get down there, huh? To
The song?
quadratic.
Yeah. Do you still remember it?
No.
Opposite B.
I'm trying not to remember. No, just kidding.
Okay, just say bye to the students. I don't know if they're still listening to the end or not.
Bye.
That
Or
was
shout it,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.